Federalist 19, Part 5, it may be asked, perhaps, what has so long kept this disjointed machine from falling entirely to pieces? The answer is obvious: the weakness of most of the members who are unwilling to expose themselves to the mercy of foreign powers. The weakness of most of the principal members compared with the formidable powers all around them. The vast weight of an influence which the emperor derives from his separate and hereditary dominions, and the interest he feels in preserving a system with which his family pride is connected, and which constitutes him the first prince in Europe. These causes support a feeble and precarious union, whilst the repellent quality incident to the nature of sovereignty, and which time continually strengthens, prevents any reform whatever founded on a proper consolidation. Nor is it to be imagined, if this obstacle could be surmounted, that the neighboring powers would suffer a revolution to take place, which would give to the empire the force and preeminence to which it is entitled. Foreign nations have long considered themselves as interested in the changes made by events in this Constitution, and have on various occasions betrayed their policy of perpetuating its anarchy and weakness. Again, trying to say that our confederation in America looks like the German Confederacy, very weak, and we have to not put ourselves in that situation. We have to adopt this new constitution, which will give us steady growth, prosperity, safety. I have here again the two important things on the screen that we've talked about, the two notes that the two memoranda that Madison wrote down about the ancient and modern confederacies, and also the vices of the political system of the U.S. Definitely look at them when you can, and you will see how thoughtful Madison was in coming to the conclusion that if we stay disunited, we will be miserable like those ancient confederacies, or even just like the German Confederacy of 2 centuries ago. If more direct examples were wanting, Poland, as a government over local sovereigns, might not improperly be taken notice of, nor could any proof more striking be given of the calamities flowing from such institutions. Equally unfit for self-government and self-defense, it has long been at the mercy of its powerful neighbors, who have lately had the mercy to disburden it of 1/3 of its people and territories. Poland was situated in a place where the stronger neighbors would always annex a part of it, take a part of it away from them. And again, he is referring to Poland's weakness, and he is letting the people of America know that under the Confederacy we will be just as weak, and we will be vulnerable by powerful nations to take us apart. The connection among the Swiss cantons scarcely amounts to a confederacy, though it is sometimes cited as an instance of the stability of such institutions. They have no common treasury, no common troops even in war, no common coin, no common judiciary, nor any other common mark of sovereignty. This is judiciary, he's talking about judiciary. So he also brings up the example of Swiss, who had been for a long time a confederacy, one of the longest surviving confederacies at the time. They are kept together by the peculiarity of their topographical position, means there's where they are situated land-wise, because he's going to say why, by their individual weakness and insignificancy, by the fear of powerful neighbors to one of which they were formerly subject, by the few sources of contention among the people of such simple and homogeneous manners, by their joint interest in their dependent possessions, by the mutual aid they stand in need of for suppressing insurrections and rebellions, an aid expressly stipulated and often required and afforded, and by the necessity of some regular and permanent provision for accommodating disputes among the cantons. Cantons were like the provinces of Switzerland. The provision is that the parties at variance shall each choose 4 judges out of the neutral cantons, who, in case of disagreement, choose an umpire. This tribunal, under an oath of impartiality, pronounces definitive sentence which all the cantons are bound to enforce. The competency of this regulation may be estimated by a clause in their treaty of 1683 with Victor Amadeus of Savoy, in which he obliges himself to interpose as mediator in disputes between the cantons and to employ force, if necessary, against the contumacious party. So far as the peculiarity of their case will admit of comparison with that of the United States, it serves to confirm the principle intended to be established. Whatever efficacy the Union may have had in ordinary cases, it appears that the moment a cause of difference sprang up capable of trying its strength, it failed. The controversies on the subject of religion, which in 3 instances have kindled violent and bloody contests, may be said in fact to have severed the league. The Protestant and Catholic cantons have since had their separate diets, where all the most important concerns are adjusted, and which have left the general diet little other business than to take care of the common bailages. That separation had another consequence which merits attention. It produced opposite alliances with foreign powers, of Bern as the head of the Protestant Association with the United Provinces, and of Luzerne as the head of Catholic Association with France. So even in Switzerland, in Swiss, where he says there is this special topographical advantage, because they're surrounded by mountains, and the way they are not going to be afraid of armies getting on a horse and all of a sudden invading them. He says even there are cantons, and after a few centuries, they finally decided to again become sort of tribal. The Catholics go on one side, trying to side or be supported by the the Catholic France, and the Protestants were going to be siding or supporting or being supported by the Protestant United Netherlands, the Dutch. So he's talking about once we have a difficulty amongst us in this 13 states, then all sorts of things happen. Let's say the northern states who are more of, let's say, Puritan, they have the Puritan take on religion, Calvinistic, they might find a country or group of people that will side with them because they have religious affiliation or similarity. In the South, it could be a different situation. So he says, look, when you're a weak confederation, small problems quickly become big problems, and foreign powers are always there to take advantage of the weakness of weak confederacy. They're going to side with one side and create a big division. This way they can take advantage of all these new states because they will be able to get resources for much cheaper. They'll be able to go to different states and say, you're weak, we will support you, but you have to let us have plenty of wood for shipbuilding and not give the good wood that you have to other states, and vice versa. So they can create problems between these states if they don't unite. And that's what Madison, Hamilton, and John Jay in these papers constantly warn Americans of.